Okay, today we're talking about Chapter 6, Section 1, the U.S. measurements. Okay, so you've probably heard all of your life how the measurements, how the United States does measurements is kind of whack. And the thing is, to the rest of the world it is, but to us, it's what we use. And we're going to talk about conversions here. Okay, so real quickly, let's go ahead and look at some of the bold words. So we've got the, the the unit of measurement we call the U.S. Customary system, and most of the rest of the world uses the metric system. Of course, you're probably familiar with that. The metric system uses meters, liters, and grams, and uses prefixes such as milli, deci, deca, kilo, things like that. Um, and they're all related. A thousand. I'm sorry, 100 millimeters makes 1 centimeter. 100 centimeters makes 1 meter. 100 meters makes 1 kilometer, which all makes total sense. The U.S. system is not related. Okay, but again, this is a system that you've kind of grown up with, so you should be relatively familiar, right? If I say something is 6 feet away, you have a good idea of how far away it is. But if I say something's 2.5 meters away, you might have to do a little bit of quick calculations in your head to assume how far it is away. And if I say something is, 144 meters away, you're just gonna be like, dude, why? Uh, but if I say something's 144 feet away, I feel like many of you could, kind of be like, oh, okay. Anyways, I digress at that point. So the measurements used in the U.S. customary system, we know that we have 12 inches in a foot, 36 inches in a yard, 3 feet in sorry, yeah, 3 feet in a yard, and 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Again, there's no correlation there at all, right? We just got done with correlation, so hopefully that means something to you. The U.S. units of weight: 16 ounces is 1 pound, and 2,000 pounds is 1 ton. And of course, I say this just real quickly. Um, if you've ever heard a metric ton, right? A metric ton will be 2,000 kilograms. So I don't know, it's just different. But anyways, that's 1 ton. So and then we talk about capacity. And I'll be honest with you, this is probably the most useful, especially if you do some baking and stuff. My wife cooks quite often, and she knows this pretty easily. So eight ounces, 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup. 2 cups is a pint. 2 pints is a quart, and 4 quarts make 1 gallon. And of course, unit of time. Finally, something that I think the entire world uses: 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and 7 days in 1 week. So that makes it pretty easy. And right here, there is no easy way to convert from one unit of US measurement to another. You must simply memorize the information. You're probably familiar with many of the conversions. So yes, you're probably familiar that 3 feet make a yard, 36 inches make a yard, 12 inches make a foot. You're probably familiar with at least these first three. The 5,280 feet in a mile. You have to commit that to memory. You probably know this. I hope you know the units of time by now. The main part of difficulty might be the U.S. units of capacity, but that'll just come to you. All right, so uh, today's going to be a super duper easy day because we're not doing anything really besides just doing those conversions. And I'm just gonna put. I don't feel like I don't think example one should have its own little page like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it with example two as well. Just get that. Let's get this knocked out really quickly. Okay, so that doesn't fit perfectly. No, that kind of does. Okay, so yeah, looks a little rough, but we're gonna have to deal with it. All right, so basic conversions in U.S. customary systems. So using table one, of course, well, table one is going to be where it is, and we're just gonna do this off of memory, even though do have the solutions down here. Um, I don't really know. There's no really no other way to go about this, I suppose. Uh, from the chart, 1 gallon is 4 quarts. B, 3 feet is 1 yard. C, 60 minutes is 1 hour. And D, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. All right, that's all I got for that. Right. So when converting measurements that are not given directly in Table 1, you must decide either multiply or divide. In any case, you still have to memorize. You still have to memorize the conversion of the table. So how do we know when to multiply or divide? So we multiply to convert smaller units, and we divide to convert very larger units, which makes sense, right? The smaller numbers we want to multiply up. The larger numbers we want to divide to get down. So let's look at example 2. Example 2, we've used multiplication or division to convert each measurement. So A, we have 3 cups equals how many fluid ounces? Okay. Well, we know that 1 cup is 8 ounces, and we multiply that 8 times 3, and of course we see that here, to get 8 times 3, or 24 fluid ounces. All right, B, 5 gallons equals how many quarts? Okay, well, we know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon, and if there are 5 gallons, it's 5 times 4, or 20 quarts. C, 150 minutes. Well, we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. 150 divided by 60 is 2 and some change, or 2 and 1/2, right? So 2.5 hours. And then D, 39 inches is how many feet? Well, we know there are 12 inches in each foot. 12 goes into 39 3 times, so it would be 3 feet and 3 inches. Doesn't say 3 feet 3 inches anywhere. But 3 inches is a quarter of a foot, right? So we'd say 3 1/4. And I know I feel like these are one of those things that everybody pretty much knows, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Uh, another another quick example here, and again, I don't like having this having its own page. It's just too small. Um, it might need its own page though. Yeah, we're actually gonna let this have its own page for right now. Okay. All right, so um, example 3, application. So converting US units of measurement. A bottle of water contains 16.8 fluid ounces. How many cups of water are in the bottle? So if there are 8 ounces in 1 cup, we want to change it from fluid ounces to cups. So to change from the smaller to larger, we divide. So if we have 16.8 fluid ounces, right, that's how much we have. We want to know how many cups we have. We just say 16.8 divided by 8. And of course, you put that into your calculator, you'll see you get 2.1. And that's about as easy as it gets. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about converting. And let me make sure real quick. Yeah, we'll let example 4 have its own page as well. Alright, so looking at this, so a second method of conversion involves the use of unit fraction. So unit fraction is a fraction equivalent to 1. So basically, we just take the fraction equivalent to 1, right? And we see in this particular case, 3 feet over 3 feet, that's equal to 1, 3 over 3, and we get 1. Okay, and then from table 1, we know that 3 feet is equal to a yard, right? So basically, you're saying 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. 1 yard in the numerator is equal to 3 feet in the denominator. All right, they are equivalent. All right, it's just the units are a little bit different, and so we can put them out like this. Same thing with minute and seconds. Okay, and for this, I think it's best if I just show you. Okay, I think anyways. So let's go ahead and let's look at example 4. This time we're not going to snip the solutions, so I can actually go through the process. Alrighty. All right, so example 4, we have, for A, we see 21 feet is equal to how many yards? Okay, so in order to make this conversion, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Okay, so let's put this at A, 21 feet, 21, and then we'll put FT, 21 feet. Okay, so in order to make this work, let's actually go back and look at something like this. X, y over x. Okay. Um, we know x, y over x. We know the x's can cancel, right? Because that they are multiplicatives of one another. That's not the correct word. They are factors. Okay. And so we can cancel the factors. All right. They're also, in a way, they're like terms, right? So we can cancel them. So we're going to try and do the same thing here with the feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this by um, multiply this by something, okay? Well, let's just go ahead and put this over 1, just for the sake of really driving this point home, okay? And we're going to put this over here. Well, I know that I'm going to have to put feet down here, um, so I can cancel the feet unit, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, okay, so we're wanting to convert this to yards. So I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, and in doing this, I can cancel the feet, okay, and then I've got 21 over 3, which I know is just 7. And of course, the only unit I have remaining is yard, so it's going to be 21 over 3 is 7, and then yd for yard. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so B is 15 hours and 2 minutes. Okay, so we're going to have 15 hours. Okay, and again, just for the sake of making sure that these fractions line up, we're just going to put this over 1. Okay, and we're going to multiply this by something where hours is going to be in the denominator, because again, I'm wanting to cancel the hours. Okay, well, I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And that makes the calculation easy again because I'm canceling hours. And then it just becomes a fraction of, 15 times 60 all over 1 times 1, which is 1, right? So 15 times 60, 600, 900. So that should be 900 minutes. So 900 minutes. See? Quickly run out of room here. So 6.5 quarts is how many pints? Okay, so we're going to put 6.5 QT for quarts. And we're just going to put it over 1 times, okay, well, real quickly, again, we're going to have to put a QT down here for quarts, okay. Well, we're wanting to go from, up here, we're wanting to go from quarts to pints, okay. Well, how many pints are in a quart? Well, there are two pints in 1 quart. And again, we have the cancellation there. And then 6.5 times 2, well, that's equal to 13. Okay, and I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this and snip D so I can fit this all on one page. Also, you can kind of see how the textbook does things, and there's nothing wrong with it. I defer to them quite often. But something that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of is I like to put this first fraction here. All right, I like to put it over 1, over 1, over 1. That way, it just makes it nice and clean, fraction times a fraction. The textbook doesn't do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's still technically correct. There's nothing wrong with it. But, the way I did it is a little bit different. All right, example 5 and example 6, they finish off this section, and we're just going to snip them totally because it's not much work involved here. Actually, let's not. It looks like there's some substance here, so let's actually do this ourselves. Okay, so we have example 5. A fully grown African elephant can weigh as much as 7.5 tons. How many pounds is this? Okay, well, so 7.5, and then we put it to capital T, tons. All right, we're going to put this over 1 like we did in the previous example, times. We're wanting to know how many pounds this is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we have the T up here. We want to cancel with the T down here. So we're going to say 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. And probably, no, it is lowercase. It's 2,000 pounds. And so the arithmetic here, right? The t's cancel, and then we have 7 times 2 is 14. Half of that is 15,000 pounds. So 7.5 times 2,000 is 15,000. 15,000 pounds. Okay. That wasn't as bad. Example 6 is the one that I was looking at that looked like it is going to be a little bit of work, but this is something that you're going to do quite often, especially if any of you are going into biology or chemistry or nursing or something like that, where you have to take chemistry. This is an example of something we do quite often in chemistry. So this reads, determine how many seconds are in a 5-day work week, assuming 8-hour work days. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to convert this from 5-day work week. We work 8 hours, and we're wanting to know how many seconds it takes. Okay, honestly, I don't think we have to do a lot of that cancellation here like it did on that page, or like the textbook wants us to do. Um, but we will. We'll do it anyways. Okay, so we've got 5 days. 5 days. Okay, we're going to put this over 1 times. Okay, so we're going to want to put days down here. Okay. And of course, we're looking at an 8-hour workday. And man, this is awful. 8-hour workday in 1 day. So we have the days canceling. Okay, and again, we're wanting to know how many seconds. So in the end, we're wanting to get to seconds. Okay. Well, we know that there are 60, and again, we have an hour up here, right? So we're going to want to cancel an hour. We know that there are, so we'll have 1 hour. We know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, and we pick the hours accordingly so we can cancel it. And then from here, we know that we have, in 1 minute, we have 60 seconds. And we cancel the minutes. Okay, and all of this is equal to, well, we have properly canceled out the units. We cancel out the days in red, the hours in blue, the minutes in yellow, and all we have is left is seconds. And so looking at this, every one of these denominators are 1, so it doesn't really matter. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So we're basically just going to do 5 times 8 times 60 times 60. So I can't do that one in my head. 5 times 8 times 60 times 60. 5 times 8 times 60 times 60 is 144,000. So 144,000 seconds. Right. So there are 144,000 seconds in a typical 5-day work week where you work 8 hours. And that concludes today's lecture.